to the cloud. All right, y'all. So we got some preliminary stuff out the way. All right, I showed you how to do the ticket, how to hit the contact tech support link, and then we are going back into our advanced aesthetics course, and we're going to be doing chapter 7 today, which is, no, we did 7. We're going to be doing 5, which is skin analysis. Oh, Amir says she's trying to get in. She said the Zoom link is not working. Did y'all click the link or did you just log in with the login information?
I clicked
I
the link.
the link, but I have to do it on my phone. It didn't come to me on Milady or.
Okay.
So I had to click it from my phone.
The link worked on her phone. I was just sharing what you said. Or use the login credentials instead of the link. Okay, let's see if that works for her. Alrighty, so we are going into skin analysis. So let me pull up the slides. Where is everybody with work right now in terms of like your portal work?
I literally just have the last question, the last slide on the last with the 100 questions, and I'll be done. But I think I'm really saving that because
Were you able to get to chapter 7 portal work?
I did that already.
You had done it already. Okay. Where are you right now, Jasmine?
I'm on the chapter 7.
Okay.
On chapter 7 work. Because I still don't have access to the last
class.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I just showed you, see if you can put a ticket in as well for that.
Oh, sure. One more time. I wouldn't even pay it. Do it one more time, please.
Okay. So my PowerPoint is still opening up. Let me move that over to this screen. Okay, so am I sharing yet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we go back out to the dashboard or the home screen. So yours looks different. Obviously, I think y'all's probably looks like this or some version of this because everybody doesn't have all the classes. But over here, all the way under need help, there's FAQs and tutorials, take the SEMA training course, and then underneath that is the contact tech support link.
Okay.
When you click that, if you fill in this form here and click submit at the bottom, that should start a ticket for you. So your name, your school name, Lotus Skin Institute, school location, Atlanta, Georgia, private beauty school, learner students. If you know your ID, that's fine. But if not, it says it's optional. Email optional. I would put your email in there. Course title, course code for the particular class. I would just put Lash course on there for course title. And then you are doing, I would say advanced aesthetics, chapter module. I would just say chapter 1 for that one. Description of the issue, go ahead and put that you don't have access to the Lash course, your operating system, your internet browser, whether or not you're using a device, a mobile device, or if you're on your computer, say no. Answer this one, yes, no, or I don't know. Is this ebook related? Yes, but it's the whole course really. So just make sure you say that in the descriptive part. And I don't know if there's really a screenshot to do here, but then submit that. I will go ahead and put a ticket in and see what happens with that as well. All right, let me switch my screen share over to my PowerPoint. Okay, skin analysis is pretty cool. Oh, Amir's made it, yay. She's logging in. Hey, sweetie.
Hi.
Yeah, you made it. Did you have to use the login credentials or did the link eventually work?
It eventually worked. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm a hot coffee drinker and they didn't have my hot coffee, so I'm doing iced coffee and it is not hitting. All right. So we're doing skin analysis. So skin analysis is pretty cool. I really enjoy skin analysis a lot. It is so important. Having good skin analysis skills will set you apart. At the end of the day, skin analysis will set you apart. Your version, your brand of skin analysis will set you apart from other people who don't know how to analyze skin and don't know how to show their clients that they know how to analyze skin. So this is a critical chapter when you're getting ready to prepare for a facial, particularly a high quality facial. So in this chapter, and let me look at something really quickly. I don't know if it's going to, just gonna switch the screen. Okay, it's not. What's next after this? So we no longer, a couple of announcements. I showed you guys how to do a ticket. And Amaris, if you need to, I can show you how to do a ticket. It's on your dashboard. That's what we've been talking about. Other announcements, I think I've made it here and there on text. I talked to Seven and we do not have to do the Beauty as a Business chapters on Zoom. The Beauty as a Business book and chapters are going to be tackled once you all get to campus, because a lot of the Beauty as a Business, that course is basically social media. And so I think it's smart too. Seven said that what's going to happen is when you guys get to campus, there's going to be a lot of activities that are done that are part of the assignments for those chapters that you need to be on campus and in the senior on the senior floor, and that way you can be recording actual activity that you're doing. A lot of that you need to be there and in that environment for those assignments. So it doesn't make sense to try to tackle those chapters in this environment, because a lot of it is like, whatever, film yourself doing something and make a post about blah, 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 right? So we're not on campus right now. So therefore, yes.
Do you know about the graduation announcement he sent out?
That was the other announcement I have. Yes, I do know a little bit about it, and I'm gonna talk about that too. So we'll get to what we get to with the lecture, and because we're probably gonna continue to do it when we because we did physiology and histology of the skin, and we don't have to do Instagram. So skin analysis, if we spend this whole week on skin analysis, it's fine. So we'll go over some of that too. But yes, graduation information, I did get some of that, and I'll go over that with you as well. So I was just looking at the syllabus to see what was next. The next thing that we're going to do, because we don't have to do Beauty as a Business, and because we already did the other chapter that's listed for this week, we're going to go next week into disorders and diseases of the skin in the fundamentals in this advanced book, and we're going to do disorders and diseases of the eye in the LASH course. So that's next week. All right. So I just wanted to look at that. Let me put that down and bring this back up again. Yes, so before I leave, I'll show you the graduation information. So if I'm looking at the right screen, I have my phone in here so I can see what y'all see. So in this chapter, we'll do this both probably today and Wednesday. We're gonna explain the process of skin analysis, identify the 4 genetic skin types through visualization. So we're gonna look at skin. Palpation means we're gonna touch skin. We're going to pinch skin and see how the bounce back is. We're going to look closely at skin. So we're going to touch it. We're going to see how it feels. Does it feel dry and papery? Does it feel soft and supple? Does it feel textured? So we're going to touch skin during skin analysis. So a lot of this chapter is going to be theory, and you're going to be in a situation where you have to put some of this into practice once we get to campus. And then how to do consultations. Differentiate the 6 Fitzpatrick skin types and accurately identify them. That's always fun, but a lot of what we do is talked about in terms of fits, right? Fits 1 through 3, fits 4 through 5. You hear this is good for higher fits, higher fits, higher fits. What are higher fits? 4, 5, and 6. So we've talked about the Fitzpatrick scale, but this is another opportunity to get that information in, because once you're out here, everything is, oh, this is lower fits, higher fits, and you just need to know what that exactly means and be able to identify them. Distinguish the characteristics of sensitive skin, and I'm sure it's going to talk about the difference between sensitive skin and specific skin issues, right? There's certain skin issues that people have, and then there's people who just have sensitive skin that don't necessarily have a particular skin issue. So we'll talk about the difference between that. Recognizing the intricacies involved with treating skin of color. The class that I took, that one of those days where I had to pre-record, was I was taking Joelle Lee's class, master class for treating skin of color. That is her whole platform. You know, that was a lady who was Michelle Obama's esthetician. She does a whole class, and it was worth 10 CEs. It was 2 days long. The first day was mostly the treatment class. The second day was business, but I learned a ton of information about treating skin of color. Corrective skincare, which is chemical peels basically. So we'll talk about that, and I'll add in whatever I can, whatever I can, I'll add in for that part. Identifying treatment options for neck and décolleté. Everybody knows what the décolleté area is, right? Okay. Illustrate examples of skin conditions, explain the causes of skin conditions, describe healthy habits for skin, and determine treatment contraindications through evaluation, analysis, and consultation. And then finally, perform a skin analysis. All right. So let's explain the process of skin analysis. I should have the ebook open, but I do not. This is all information straight from there. Let me move this part aside so I can see what I am doing. Okay. All right, so the skin analysis process involves determining it. Well, before I think this list is out of order. I think identifying skin conditions is the first part. If you can determine the cause of skin conditions and contraindications, that would be next. And then determining the appropriate treatment and products. Does that make sense? What I just said, it seems like that list is a little bit out of order. And then give clients a better understanding, or giving a better understanding of how to help clients, right? So before performing services and selecting products, you must identify skin type and conditions. A thorough skin analysis and client consultation is very important to determine the causes of those conditions, the contraindications that they may have. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that information from conversation. You're going to get that information through the consultation. You can look at skin, but you can look at skin and determine a lot about what's going on with the skin, but the why can be different, right? The why can be different. If somebody says, my skin been looking like this my whole life, that's different from somebody who tells you they're eating crap, they're drinking crap, they're not putting anything good in their body. They have some bad habits like smoking, going out into the sun if they have the type of job that has them outside and they are my age and they never wore no SPF. There's certain things they'll tell you if you ask the right questions. You're like, okay, that's why your skin looks like that, right? Versus somebody who says, I've been dealing with this my whole life. Using a holistic approach, identify healthy habits and behavior. Identifying healthy habits and then behavior that's detrimental to skin will give you, which is what I basically just said. All right. So identifying the 4 genetic skin types through visualization, palpation, and consultation. Skin types. All right, so skin type is a classification that describes a person's genetic skin attributes. So it's determined by genetics and ethnicity, but it can change over time. Skin type, I cannot see. Let me close this down. Skin type is based on how much oil is produced in the follicles from the sebaceous glands and the amount of lipids found between the cells. So when we talk about skin type, and we're saying that skin types are based on how much oil is produced in the follicles, what are the skin types that you are thinking right off the bat? When we say it's based on oil production, so our skin types would be what? 4 skin types would be what?
You said skin types,
Uh-huh.
dry, oily,
Mm.
combination,
Or like
What is-
sensitive.
sensitive,
Dry,
yes.
oily combination, and So then there's a discussion about the difference between dry skin and dehydrated skin, right? So in some books, my book had that as a category as well. Matter of fact, let me pull this book up. Let me pull this book up and see what it's saying in the chapter. Because different books I've seen say slightly different things, but correct. Dry, oily, and combination are 3 of the 4 based on oil production. I'm about to open this book real quick and see if we can go there. Okay, so evaluating the pores in the T-zone is the first step in determining skin type. So we know where the T-zone is, right? Can we see that in the picture there?
Mhm.
Yes.
A lot of times people are oily in the T-zone and maybe dry on their cheeks. Sometimes it's reverse, but usually they're oily in the T-zone and they're dry here if they're combination. When performing a skin analysis, use your visual abilities to note properties in the skin, such as pore size or irregularities in the skin. Palpation is used to examine the skin through touch, manipulating it to determine conditions such as oiliness or elasticity. Remember, I said sometimes we will pinch skin and see if there's bounce back or if it stays pinched, which will tell you a lot about the musculature in the skin. Consultation determines lifestyle and dietary issues that impact the skin. Okay, let me see if I can find this page that I was looking for. Can I blow this up? Oh, normal is the one I forgot. And we always forget about normal. So your 4 skin types are normal, right? Combination, oily, or dry. So oily means they just have an oily face all over. Dry means it's dry all over. Combination means in the T-zone in the chin area, they're oily, and on the skin, on the cheeks, they're dry. There is a, oops, I rolled down on this one here. Here it is right here. There is a chart, table 5.1 for those that are able to access your ebook. I can't tell from the ebook what page this is on, but actually this is really good. Is it going to show me here? Let me see. Not really. So let me do a new share over to the book. And hopefully y'all can see it. So table 5.1 and figures 5.3, 5.4, 5.5, and 5.6 in your ebook go into detail on this. This is important. I'm taking a minute to look at this with you guys because this is important. So out of all of the things that there are to look at, this is an important one. Get very familiar with this, right? So oil is balanced, hydration is balanced, follicle size is small, no or rare to see blemishes. It's a soft, smooth texture and good elasticity. These are the things that make a normal skin type. For combination, right? So the follicles are larger in the T-zone than in the cheeks. There's a buildup of dead skin and oil in the pores around the nose, flaking in the skin outside the T-zone, but some blemishes and comedones. It's oilier in the T-zone than in the sides of the face. That's combination. Oily is oily, shiny, comedones, blemishes may be present. The feel is thick and firm and uneven due to congestion. So you can feel the bumps, you can feel those sebaceous filaments underneath if you're touching it. For oily skin, dry, minimal oil production, minimal hydration, follicle size is difficult to tell. The appearance is dull, lack of luminosity, meaning a kind of a shine to it. Flaking, blotchy, it feels thin, it feels tight. How can we tell that? We have to touch their skin. We have to touch. So, and the best way to do this is with your mag lamp. You get a mag lamp on top of their face, so you want to cover their eyes. Like, did we see that in this picture? I just saw it somewhere. Or maybe it's over here. Oh, it's over here. So I'm gonna keep switching my screen share so we can see. So when we are looking at, okay, so you want to make sure that you have those eyes covered best you can because you need a mag lamp on top of them. You need to be looking through the magnifying lens, have that light on them and touch their skin. Some people will glove up for this. Some people feel like they can't do a good skin analysis with gloves on. Some people just, they're gonna wash their hands and they're gonna feel, because there's things that you're gonna miss with gloves on. I like to do a skin analysis without gloves, unless their skin looks crazy or they've told you something. If you don't even want to do a skin analysis without gloves, are we doing this facial? Are we treating them? Do they have something going on? Now, one of the things we always talk about is like cold sores, right? Somebody has open cold sores. We're not doing this because herpes is a skin, it's transmitted skin to skin, right? It's a it's herpes in general is an STD, but we can get herpes from people without having sex with them. So sometimes I don't even like to consider it an STD or an STI anymore, because you can get it from touching. You have something that's open, and it touches an open sore, you getting that stuff, right? So we don't mess with cold sores, right? We do not mess with cold sores. So unless there's something going on like that, in which case are we doing this anyway, right? So I personally prefer to do a skin analysis ungloved so I can feel what I'm looking at. Just some stuff to think about with that, right? Okay, so we talked about our 4 genetic skin types, and okay, so here we go. So the 4 skin types is normal, combination, oily, and dry. Sometimes we don't see normal. That's why I almost forgot about normal. So figure 5.6. So here we go. So here's our list here. Normal skin type guidelines. We just talked about this. I showed you the chart in the ebook. So these were so how do we treat normal skin? Maintenance and prevention treatments, because we don't want things to get out of whack. When we're dealing with the other skin types, we're trying to get them back to balance. If we already have somebody that walks in the door with a normal skin type, we want to maintain that. It is hard to treat skin. Why is it hard to treat skin? Because skin is complex. You don't know how your clients are going to react to products. You don't know how your clients are going to react to modalities. With that being said, you can only do so much when they're in your space, right? When they're in your shop, when they're in your spa. The biggest piece to successful corrective skincare is, does anybody know what that is before I say it? What is one of the most important parts to corrective skincare? Successful long-term corrective skincare requires, more than anything else, requires what?
Is it like the people like keeping up with it outside of being there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Home care. Home care is the way we say that, right? A client being good with their home care is the number one, you can work magic in your spa. You can work magic in your spa, but the people who are going to have the best long-term results are people who are serious, committed, and disciplined with their home care. Home care is the number one thing. Why is that? Why
Because
is
you got to
home
keep
care?
up, like, you got to keep up with it. Like, as far as you going to the salon, they can do that, but you keeping up with home care keeps the progress going, the process going.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else?
Because it's only one time. Like you've only seen me once out of like, I don't know how many times you're supposed to get a facial, but like, out of like 30 days. So that you see you with yourself more than I'm with you.
There you go. Now, Maris, did you have anything to add?
That's what I was gonna say.
Mm-hmm. They're with themselves every day. So if they're using professional treatment, clinical level treatment products that they're getting from you, and they're using that at home on a daily basis, day in and day out, they are giving themselves the treatments that are on their level to give, right? Which is cleansing, right? Exfoliating 2 to 3 times a week, depending on the situation, and protection. Those are the main things that they can do every single day. Imagine if somebody went and they were seeing you every 4 weeks, and they're getting that treatment once every 4 weeks. What is that doing? So you can do specialized modalities. You can use clinical grade or professional grade products like a chemical peel, or, you know what I mean? You can do certain products that they can't do themselves, right? But at the end of the day, keeping their skin cleansed, exfoliating, keeping their skin cleansed on a daily basis, exfoliating 2 to 3 times a week, depending on the treatment, and keeping their skin protected on a daily basis, and then nightly treatment serums. So depending on what you're treating them for, giving them those treatment serums to put on at night. We treat at night, we protect during the day, right? We cleanse both times. That is the number one thing. So making sure that maintenance and prevention treatments are, that you really hammer that home with your client about the importance of doing that. And so I just said that: cleanse, exfoliate, nourish, which is your treatment serums, and protect. Those are the most important things. And then making sure that that they're in balance as far as their body systems. What does that mean? What else are we talking to them about? Treatment products are very important, but what else are we talking to them about in addition to what they need to be doing for home care?
Internally, like drinking water and stuff.
Drinking their what? That is the most important thing outside of home care in terms of lifestyle. One of the most important things that they can do is stay hydrated. What else?
Their diet.
And you know that, right? Because that's something that we talk about all the time, right? Changing their diet if it needs to be changed. Sometimes it's an add-in. One of the ways I was able to finally start losing weight, well, I got divorced. But outside of that, in addition to hydrating, when it came to dietary changes, sometimes it's hard when you have people with food addictions and they're addicted to things that are not healthy, like I was. One of the best ways to make those changes, because it's hard to take out what you want to eat. So I was watching like a documentary on like veganism or something. And one of the suggestions was to add in. Don't worry about taking out. The attitude of, I can't eat this, which makes you feel like, oh, this is what I want to do, but I can't. They just suggested to add in. So just add in fruits, add in vegetables, add in water. And what that does after a while is changes your taste buds, and it crowds out the bad crap. And you eat enough good stuff, and then you go try to eat some hot Cheetos, they will tear your stomach up, right? So that was something that was helpful for me. So when I was doing body contouring, this is what I used to tell my clients because one thing that is so interesting to me about aesthetics is body contouring is just, it's the same thing. I'm talking to them about the same thing: their diet, their hydration, their exercise. And instead of sun protection for their face, that fourth thing for me would probably be like waist training, because, the stomach is, don't see the sun anyway. So that would probably be that fourth thing. But the hydration, the diet, and the exercising were all the same conversation, right? So that's what I would tell them when I was trying to give them advice on how to do better with their diet. Just crowd in the good stuff. So this is important when we're balancing and maintaining normal skin types. Why is it important to have this conversation in detail? Because when we look at the other skin types and we're trying to get them back in balance, once we get them back in balance, we want to maintain them being back in balance. So it's important to know what to do with normal skin. Normal skin is not to be ignored. So we need to know how to maintain it. So this detailed conversation is important. I don't know why we're doing combination first. That's kind of weird to me. So we'll come back to combination. So for oily skin, you can see the shine on her face, right? So it's moderate to high, good to dehydrated. Hydration can be having oily skin does not mean they're hydrated. Having oily skin does not necessarily mean they're dehydrated, right? So you have to have that conversation with them. Follicle size might be large because they're used to secreting a lot of oil from the sebaceous glands. Shiny appearance lots of comedones and blemishes. You may have thick, firm skin, and because their skin is often congested, it may be uneven to the touch. It may not feel smooth. How do we treat this? Regular cleansing and exfoliation, hydrating with water-based products. There's two types of products, water-based products and oil-based products. If we're dealing with oily skin, we don't want to add to the oil by using oil-based products. So how do we bring that balance? When we have oily skin, we use water-based products. Does that make sense? Water-based products will not feel good on you if you have dry skin. I historically had dry skin on my face. So water-based products just feel like you put them on and then your skin is dry again. But with oil-based products, it brings that to balance. So always think water-based products when you're dealing with oily skin. Treatments to balance oil production. The why is lots of whys. Genetics, hormones is big for women my age. If you're going to treat older women, you have to be prepared. So it's really important that you learn about hormones because a lot of what women my age deal with is hormonal. Medications can do it. So you need to ask that question. Ask them about their lifestyle in terms of their stress levels and other environmental factors. Over exfoliation can create oilier skin because if you're drying skin out, the body's always going to try to bring itself to balance as well. So your oil glands are going to get active if it senses the oil is dry. So if you over exfoliate, you can make the problem worse because you're telling your sebaceous glands, we need more oil, the skin is dry. So be careful of that. Let's see, clients' oily skin age more slowly since oil is a protector. Clients will need to use SPF to avoid post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, which happens often with acne. All right, so that's what we're doing with oily skin. Let's look at dry skin. Minimal oil production, we looked at this in the chart, rough, thin, and tight. How to treat oil-based products. Because the skin is dry, we need to add in the moisture. So we want oil-based products. Water-based products will dry out dry skin further. The oil-based products also protect the acid mantle and increase barrier function. You're going to hear this a lot as you get into learning about treatment, is maintaining that barrier function, maintaining the acid mantle. When we talk more about chemical peels, when we talk about corrective skincare and getting past the surface and getting into deeper levels of skin for treatment, you will see that we will talk a lot about breaking the acid mantle or dismantling the acid mantle so that we can get past the barrier and get down into the depths of the dermis. Well, so that the products can. We don't get into the dermis, but we're adding products to the surface of the skin and we want product penetration a lot of times. So when we're talking about things like enzymes and we're talking about things like chemical peels, we're trying to break the acid mantle so that we can have deeper product penetration. Let me be clear about that. We don't mess with the dermis, but we want products to get past the epidermis and into the dermis for treatment. Also, a lot of times dry skin has a compromised transepidermal water loss. That is part of our barrier function as well, right? So to make sure that we're not losing water on the surface of the skin, which we call transepidermal water loss, we want to make sure that we're building up the barrier. Dry skin is often thinner. So when we're building up our acid mantle, we're building up our barrier or rebuilding our barrier, we want to apply products in that are going to allow the skin to get a little bit thicker and more supple. So we're adding oil-based products in. Treatments that also provide nourishment and protection. Again, building up the barrier. Why? Underproduction of oil due to genetics, environmental factors, hormones. Some hormones dry out skin. Some hormones cause our skin to be more oily. Dry skin may often be dehydrated in addition to be dry. So dry skin, what's the difference between dry skin and dehydrated skin? Just as a quick reminder, this is something you should know.
Is dehydrated skin like something that you can like change, but dry skin is kind of just like your skin type?
That is a true statement, not what I'm looking for to this to. So it's not the answer I'm looking for, but what you said is true.
Okay.
What you said is correct, if that helps. What you said is correct. Dry skin is a skin type. Dehydrated skin is not a skin type. It is a what?
It's just because you don't drink enough water?
Correct. It is a condition.
Condition,
It's a condition. So it can be changed by simply
drinking water.
drinking
some
water. Drinking water. Drinking water can change dehydrated skin into more balanced hydrated skin. Dry skin is a skin type. If you have dry skin, you have dry skin, and then you can treat dry skin. Dehydrated skin is not even anything you can necessarily have to treat with products or modalities. Just feed the skin some water. So have your client drink some water. So that is true. The difference between what dry skin is missing and what dehydrated skin is missing. So we just said dehydrated skin is missing what?
Water,
Water. Dry skin is missing what?
oil.
Oil. That's the main, when you talk about comparing the two, and then you follow that statement with what Amara said. Dry skin is a skin type, dehydrated skin is a condition. When you say that, when somebody says, what's the difference between dry skin and dehydrated skin? You say dry skin is missing oil, dehydrated skin is missing water. Dehydrated skin can be taken care of by drinking water. Dry skin needs to be treated with products and modalities, mostly products, right? And then you say dry skin is a skin type, dehydrated skin is a skin condition. That is a full and complete answer, and you sound like an expert. Yep, perfect. All right, good. Dry skin. So can you have dry skin and dehydrated skin at the same time?
Yes.
Yes, you can. Do we often see it occur together?
Yes.
Yes. Your job is to figure out quickly how to tell the difference between dry skin and dehydrated skin. Can you tell, do you know what things you can do to tell the difference?
The
That
dehydrated.
little light. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, the Woods lamp.
Yes, I was gonna say the light, but I was talking about the wood lamp.
A Woods lamp can help you because dry skin will show up in certain ways. Namely, if I'm not mistaken, my Woods lamp, and I'll see, this is where I get excited about coming to campus, because I have a Woods lamp that is literally sitting. Okay, so that's something that I can bring, and we can be using that when we get to campus. Dry skin, if I remember correctly, shows up as orange. So if you're looking under a Woods lamp at somebody's skin and it looks orange, that's dry skin. And if I find that I said that incorrectly, I will correct myself. But if I remember correctly, dry skin is orange, appears as orange. And I say that because I generally have dry skin. Now, as I've gotten older, how my hormones have been acting in perimenopause, my skin is much oilier. It's not as dry, naturally dry anymore. So I see that changing. All right, so that brings us to combination skin. So we talked about what that looks like. All right, the main thing is T-zone looks one way, cheeks look another. T-zone and chin looks one way, cheeks look like another way, right? So overproduction of oil in the T-zone may have normal production in the T-zone and dehydrate on the face. So either it's oily here and normal here, or it could be, normal here and dry here. Does that make sense? One way or the other, the cheeks are drier than the T-zone. T-zone is usually oilier. Why is the T-zone oilier? Do we have any thoughts about that? Why would the T-zone be oilier than the cheeks?
Does it have something to do with the movement of your face?
The movement of your face? What do you mean?
Talking about, you know how you get the little lines, facial expressions, like the movement.
Oh, okay, that could be something, because we have, if you're mad a lot, then you're saying that you're,
the little lines between your forehead.
so then the skin is touching each other.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an idea. I don't know that that's not incorrect. I don't know that that's incorrect. You might be absolutely right. That's one thing to think about. What else might be, particularly the forehead, but really all of it? Why? What would make sense about why the T-zone would be oilier, whether it's oily here and normal here, or whether it's normal here and dry here. Why are the cheeks always drier or less oily than the T-zone? What else happens with the forehead? For some people, not none of us right now, based on me looking at y'all.
Is it maybe like hair, like hair touching your face and like running down those like higher parts of your face?
Absolutely. My boys, my twins wear dreads now. And these boys nowadays like their dreads like this. It's so ridiculous. It just hair in the face, just all in the face. Like my kids' dreads literally are this long in the front. I just be looking at them like, can you even see in front of you? Like, it just looks ridiculous to me. I have dry skin and my forehead will get itchy. So I've never been, I stopped wearing bangs in grade school. I'm just not been a bangs wearer. I just don't like the feel of hair on my forehead. So I'm one of these people that just keep the hair off the forehead. But a lot of people, so I was looking at my son last night. He had this one big pimple. He's like, "Ma, can you bust this?" I ended up doing a full extraction and a full facial for free, no tip. You know, because I couldn't help it. Once I saw that one and I had him pull his hair back, forehead full of comedones, full of oily production going on. But they wear their, you know, dread hair products and don't wash their hair every day when they're dreads, when they're dreadheads, they don't wash their hair every day. Every once in a while they get the retwist done, you know, that whole thing. So just forehead just looking a mess. Also with the nose, my window's messing everything up, but your nose sticks out more than anything else. So what happens is as you're moving about in the world, the nose catches stuff that the rest of the face don't catch, right? So just as we're out and about, the nose just catches up. That's why the nose is always, you're always having to, when you're doing extractions, you can push a lot of stuff out of the nose because the nose just catches stuff from the environment because it's sitting out furthest from the face. The chin, a lot of times things that we eat may end up in our skin down here in the chin area too. Plus the chin may be touching clothing or a scarf or whatever. The chin gets a lot of stuff that the cheeks don't get as well. So this is why the T-zone and the chin oftentimes got stuff going on with it that the cheeks do not. So evaluate often, oil hydration balance, hormonal environmental influences, reinforce the use of sunscreen. So sometimes you may have to treat the T-zone in the chin with a particular product, and you may need to treat the cheeks like something else. So you'll see sometimes some girls will do like a combination mask. So you may put a charcoal mask on the T-zone, and then you may have a hydrating type of mask product on the cheeks when you're dealing with combination skin. So it's important to really, really look and see what's going on with somebody's skin, because how do you know how to treat their skin if you don't know what's going on with it? So you'll see a lot of combination mask treatments. All right, so that's here we are with the first check-in. And so we're gonna pick up from here on Wednesday. Paired with another student, use the skills of visually. So see, this is what I'm saying. This is a type of chapter that we can't really do the activity of it until we get to campus and we're there in front of each other. So y'all remind me in case I forget, because I'll be all over the place. This is where we're going to pick up with our lecture on Wednesday. We're going to start with the 6 Fitzpatrick skin types. Okay. Last thing is graduation. So I got an email from Logan, and I got an email from Logan in my email, and then I got an email from Seven in SEMA. Jasmine and Amaris, I'm guessing you may not have gotten that because I think y'all have enough to go where y'all are going to be participating in the next graduation. Nisha, I was going to ask you, did you get, any communication about graduation, either in your email or in SEMA? You did get it?
And that's why I was asking about it. I didn't read it. I saw it as soon as I woke up this morning, but I didn't read it. I'm actually going to read it right now, but I did get message on SEMA and I saw it said graduation announcement. I just didn't get a chance to read it yet. Okay.
Yes, so graduation is going to be,
I know
So gradu-
Seven said we'll graduate before we're finished though. So he told me like when I graduate, like I'll be graduating in August, but I won't be done till November. I think that's what he
right,
told me.
right, because usually most schools do either 1 or 2 graduations a year. So sometimes you have people that will be finished and they'll come back to participate in the ceremony. Sometimes if you're close enough to being finished, if you're close enough based on whatever the threshold is, you can participate in the ceremony because you'll be finished shortly after that. And then there won't be another graduation for a long time. So they'll let you graduate a little early. So the next graduation, and ladies, just so you know this as well, our first graduation, first one, is going to be August 27th at 4:30, or at least that's what time we may have to be there. It says 4:30, but then it says rehearsal and graduation pictures. So it may be
Yeah, I'm reading it
later.
now too.
It may be later than that. August 27th is, oh, that's not what I meant to do. Let me scroll down. So I thought it was a Sunday. So August 27th is a Sunday. And then there is a cap and gown fee. And then before that, there's a class day pictures and luncheon event where we wear white business casual on August 6th at 2 p.m. I am super sad. I am going to miss that luncheon. That is the day I have to take my kid to college. So I don't think I'm going to be able to make the luncheon. So I'm a little bummed about that because I want to do all the things. I'm actually graduating too. That I actually get to participate. I'm about finished with my program. So the 3 instructor students that I know of, there may be more that started after us, but I know there's at least 3 of us in the instructor program. We're all graduating with you guys on August 27th. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah, so if you have any other questions about that, let me know, but there's a pretty detailed email in SEMA from 7. All right, ladies, any questions about today or about what we're doing on Wednesday? Or okay, so Wednesday, y'all, I'm not going to be at home teaching. I'm not going to be in a sundress. I'm going to be in my scrubs and I'll be at Lotus. So you'll notice a whole different environment when I log in on Wednesday. So I'm pretty excited. I'm going there to get the whole orientation for teaching and get, all the information from there and start getting prepared to receive y'all on campus when it's time. So I'm excited about that. So moving on from now on, at least until this changes, Mondays I'll be doing Zoom from home, and on Wednesdays you'll see me doing Zoom on campus from campus. So I'll be going to campus on Wednesdays, just kind of getting oriented on getting ready to teach from campus. So we're getting there. We're moving along. I'm excited. All righty.
I have a
Any other-
question though.
Yeah.
Didn't Lotus said that they only do 1 graduation per year, right? So it's like I'm not like I have to go, right? Like I'm not saying I don't want to go. I'm saying I have to go because like I'll be done in November and there won't be another graduation till 2024, right?
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if it was once a year. But
I
if
think
it's
it is once a year. I
if
think
it's
he
once-
told me that during orientation.
okay. And sometimes schools
Okay.
may change it, but if that's what it is right now, then that's probably why you're included in this one. Do you have
Okay.
to? I mean,
No, I'm saying I want to go. I was just making sure because like, I'm not really like imagine like graduating, but I still got school the next day. So it's like,
I know, and a lot of schools do that. The schools the schools I ran that did like medical training and all that, we did the same thing because graduations are pretty expensive to put on. It's a whole production, and you can't do them but so often. So, but yeah, I would participate in the ceremony that you're scheduled to participate in so that you don't have
Okay.
to wait. Because also imagine being done in November and not being able to walk for 9 months.
Yeah, that's true.
Most people, after a while, they'd be like, man, never mind. I've been working in the field so long. Like, what I look like going back to graduate. So that's probably why. Let me stop this recording. I will, hold on one second.